Hey, ladies. Just waiting for Monica to join, and then we will have her. All right, let's try this again, Monica.
Hi,
Good morning, Monica. How are
I'm
you?
good. The problem was I was trying to do it on my MacBook and it wouldn't work, so I'm on my phone now. So that's okay.
That's all right. We always know how to roll with the punches with chronic illness, right?
Isn't that the truth? Good Lord. So, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm so
Aw,
excited to have you as a guest. Why
thank you. I'm
don't
excited to be here.
Yes. Thank you for joining us today. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, let's see. Okay, I hate saying it, but I just turned 70 in November. And
Happy birthday. You don't look a day over 25.
yeah, thank you. But with that age comes a lot of wisdom, and especially with this disease. I'm the mother of three adult children. I'm married, and we'll be celebrating our 50th anniversary this summer. Um, I have three adult children and six beautiful grandsons.
Oh,
Yeah, they're very sweet. I worked for education for 20 years, and then I went on as a career as a childbirth doula and childbirth educator. And I
I am
loved it.
I am just amazed by you. I love sharing your energy with you over the
Oh,
internet. So it's
whoops.
just incredible to actually speak with you now.
Oh, wow, that's so sweet of you to say, and I feel the same about you. I wanted to say too, thank you so much for everything that you do to bring awareness to trigeminal neuralgia. It's like I don't even know how you can muster up the energy and the strength because I know you go through some bad days too. And thank you for that because it's such a support, I know, for me and for so many people. So it's very, very much appreciated.
That really means the world to me. Thank you, Monica. It does take a lot of energy, but you know what? It
Mhm.
is so worth it because this community needs more awareness.
It sure does. And I just loved when you were doing the everybody telling their story, just to see the diversity amongst this illness from all corners of the world, but we're all struck with the exact same thing. And the way people describe it, how can someone from Australia know it feels like an ice pick in your ear when you live? You know what I mean? Like,
Right?
it's incredible. Like, so it makes you feel this um, camaraderie with people you don't even know, but you know they know what you're suffering with and how you suffer. So that's an awesome thing. Oh, I was telling you about myself. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, I also was a casting agent for movies. My son's an actor. You've probably seen that on my page. Yeah. I,
Yes.
I've been on both sides of the camera. I've done acting and the other side, like casting. I prefer being on the other side, not in the camera, but on the other side. I don't know
Yeah.
why. It just feels more creative and fun. And my big coup de fame is was 2 years ago now, right? February 2020, when COVID was just starting. I love to read and I love to knit. And I was following Oprah's book club online, and I made a comment about a book. And then I got a text from one of her producers, and they flew me to be on the show.
Oh my God.
It was like unbelievable, unbelievable, unbelievable. I went down February 12th. I was home February 14th. It was like a dream. It was like it didn't happen. It was so weird. And I said something and she answered me back, my brain turned to jello. It was like I'm talking to Oprah. You know? So that's my big claim to fame. And I also have trigeminal neuralgia. And I was hoping I wouldn't get a flare, but I think sometimes adrenaline and endorphins really, really help keep things at bay. And you can fall apart later, but right now you're not missing this, you know?
Yes.
So that's what I find anyway for me works. And like I say, I love to knit and I love cuddling with my grandsons. Even my 15-year-old grandson still hugs and cuddles and smooches
Oh.
and those are endorphins and they make you feel better. So yeah, so that's me kind of in a nutshell.
I love it. You've told me that Oprah story before, and it's
Yes.
amazing to hear it live with you because I'm so jealous. You know that. That is such a cool story.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
So how long have you been suffering from trigeminal neuralgia, and
Well,
what's been kind of your journey with it?
okay, well, I said I'm 70. When I was 50-ish, I was going on a trip from Edmonton to to Toronto, which is about 3.5 to 4 hour flight. And it was a business trip. And when I landed, I had what I thought was the most excruciating toothache, which we all think. And it was really cold there. And the lady that I was with, she said, well, let's call the emergency dentist. So she did that for me. And then the morning we went, and I thought for sure he would say, I'll do a root canal, fix it up, you'll be fine. And he said, I'm sorry, there's absolutely nothing wrong with your teeth. And I'm like, well, what could this be? Like, what could this be? And he said, I think you have this rare condition called trigeminal neuralgia. And I, of course, had never heard of that and didn't even pay it too much attention because my face was hurting so bad. So I just went back to the hotel and tried taking, Tylenol, whatever, heat, whatever you could do to relieve the pain. But the whole time I was there, it was horrendous. And then I came home and somebody knew of a cranial sacral therapist, I think. And so she came over and she tried to do, because at that point it was kind of unknown what's wrong with me, right? And so she tried to relieve it, and then slowly I I got referred to a neurologist. By the time I went into the neurologist, it had faded. It was going away. So I explained it to him. He said he thinks that's what it was too. And so I guess the typical way it starts is when you're 50, not like you young girls, but the typical way trigeminal neuralgia starts is in your 50s, goes away for about 10 years, and then comes back with a bang and stays. And that's exactly what happened. As a matter of fact, on my 60th birthday, I woke up with that, and I knew what it was because I'd had it before, right?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it was horrible. So I got right back in with that neurologist. And then he said, let's do an MRI, because he already knew what it kind of was, which was good
Yeah.
for me, because it wasn't that, let's try and discover what this is. They already knew. So he said, let's do an MRI just to confirm. They saw the compression on the nerve, sent me to a neurosurgeon, and he did an MVD. And that was on the left side.
Okay.
And that seemed to help, like so much that I came off of my carbamazepine. I just didn't take it anymore because I felt like I didn't need it.
That's
And
great.
then about, I want to say 6 to 7 months later, I still remember the pain jolt. Oh, it was on this side. I never felt anything like, never felt like, I thought this was bad. This was probably 5 times worse. And I'm like, I know that pain. It can only be one thing because nothing else feels, as you know, you know the pain. It's nerve pain. It's nauseating. It's horrible. And so right away, I called the neurosurgeon back, and they did an MRI. And they said, yes, you have a compression on the right side. They said only 2% of people have compressions on both sides. And so he said, you have TN1 on both sides, so we have to do an MVD on that side. So when he got into this side, the compression was pressing against an artery and it was attached. The nerve was kind of attached to the artery. So
Oh
they
my gosh.
so they couldn't put, you know how they put the Teflon pads between? They couldn't do that because he said, I mean, I can't do that. So he said, I don't think it worked. And then when I woke up from that surgery, so much rougher on me. They had to do a spinal tap on the table. I could hardly walk. I had double vision, nausea. Like it was a whole, you know. So it didn't work, and the recovery took a long, long time on that side. So I don't even want to know what they were doing in there, but you know, trying to fix it, I guess. And then after that, I had to walk with a cane for a while. And then I got gamma knife radiosurgery on this side. And that's like something out of Twilight Zone. I don't know if you've ever had gamma knife.
I haven't.
It's painless in a sense because they really freeze your head really well, and then they screw these bolts in, like literal bolts into your head. And this thing, because you cannot move. So then they do mapping like they do for seizures, where they try to find exactly where the point is, because they only want to put radiation on the nerve, nowhere near it, nowhere, just exactly the spot. So right before you have that thing on your head, and then you go have a CT scan, an MRI scan, and they screw you to the table
Oh
because,
my gosh.
yeah, because you have another thing on, because it has to be so precise, because if they go over, like your cochlear nerve is right there, the eye nerve, like they just have to hit that nerve because it's radiation, right? So I was all fine, all good. And then I went in, they give you fentanyl, I think. And then when I got inside the room and I saw this black hole, almost like it was like, you know, I had a really bad anxiety attack, but they just gave you more Ativan and asked me what I wanted to hear. And I just said Natalie Cole, don't know why, but I did. She was singing, "This will be," and I'm having radiation to the brain. And I don't remember very much after that at all, nothing. So the recovery from that was okay. It didn't really, you know, but it didn't work.
Oh,
Didn't work. So then I had balloon rhizotomy. Have you heard of that one?
I have. You're covering all the procedures here. I
Yeah,
love
I
this.
had them all. And they go through, it's actually put you out. It is surgery. They they put a probe in like right about here, and it goes right down to the base of the trigeminal nerve. And what they're trying to do, the gamma knife focused on one end of the nerve, and it tries to destroy it enough that it won't send the message of pain. Like I said, it didn't work. So they were going to go at it from the other angle. And they went through here, then they put a balloon in, inflate it, and it's only applying pressure for, I forget how many seconds, it's seconds of time. Then they pull the balloon out because they don't want someone to get that anesthesia dolorosa where you have pain and numbness together. And I had a little bit of that. Oh, it's, I can't describe it. It's just awful. So I wouldn't want to have that on a permanent basis, you know? And
Yeah.
so I want to say, I keep saying it didn't work, but the way this side was from the beginning to where it's at now, it's much better. I still get flares. I still get a lot of them. But when they last, I kind of think of them as if the flare lasts longer than a week, then I start kind of thinking, okay, we got to do something else. And my emergency department is fantastic. They have a little chart up, and they understand that trigeminal neuralgia flares should be treated like seizures. Not like you're not drug seeking, because most of us have those drugs at home. We don't need to go there, wait in line to get drugs, right? Um, but they understand that it is like a seizure. It should be treated like a seizure because it's the messages from the brain that are causing this attack. So they have it all written down when I come in. So it was a lot of work to get that done, but it's done. So if anybody lives in St. Albert and you have trigeminal neuralgia, just go to the Sturgeon Hospital and tell them you're having a flare, because they now know what to do. Sometimes you have to educate the hospitals even. I remember I went to one emergency and she said, what's wrong? And I couldn't even talk. And my husband said, she's having a trigeminal neuralgia attack. And she goes, where is that in your body? And I'm like, oh, and
That's
you can go to like the university hospital. You tell them that, they go, just a second, they go fill a surgical glove with hot water and make a hot water bottle for you. So, it's education and awareness, like you say. And so they'll give you an infusion of Dilantin, and Dilantin is a seizure drug, another seizure medication. And I think they put some Dilaudid in it as well, and something else. And if anybody wants the card that has the information on what to give your ER, just private message me and I can give it to them. But so I'll do that with the hopes that it will settle it down. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. As you know, flares go like this, and you have to ride the wave, and that's why we're warriors. We have to do that. And I know you watched my video of all the things I do to try to stockpile my arsenal of things to try to keep the pain down. And I've taken some of yours too, which are great. But that's what I do during the times when it's not, nothing else works.
Would you like to share some of that with people who haven't seen that video before? Because you
Oh,
have some
sure.
amazing tips.
Okay, if I forget, remind me some of the things that I'm trying. So when I first get a flare, first thing I do is heat. I always think heat is the best course. If you're do whatever your doctor has told you to do for breakthrough pain. Sometimes we forget and we don't take that middle day, whatever it is, because you're not in pain. But don't do that, because I do that and it's really dumb. Why do that? Like, I know that carbamazepine makes me really dizzy. So that's why when I'm not having a flare, I don't take it. But then as soon as it wears off, about 3 days later, here comes the flares again. So, just don't be dumb like me. Just, but whatever you're told to take for breakthrough pain, take that and heat. And it's time to be quiet and stop. I always have in my head that quote, get up, wake up, get up, dress up, show up, and never give up. So if wake up is all I can do that day, I've done something. And don't be hard on yourself, because it's hard to brush your teeth. It's excruciating to take a shower. Don't judge yourself and think, oh my God, people are going to think who cares? This is you. Get a baby toothbrush, because they really help when you can't open your mouth very wide. Just get a little newborn baby or use mouthwash, whatever. But be quiet. Like, calm yourself, be quiet. Watch Netflix like for all day, if that's what you can do. Just lay in bed, keep applying heat, keep taking your medication, and this too shall pass, and it will pass. And we hate it. Cry if you have to. Lean on your family and friends. And I'm so blessed to have such a supportive family team around me. My family, my daughter will run over immediately and call me and text me, how you doing, Mom? I'm so sorry. The words "I'm so sorry" mean so much. Like, I am so sorry that you have to go through this. That is just, it's not giving advice. It's not telling you, well, you shouldn't have done this, or you shouldn't have gone shopping yesterday, or I'm so sorry. Means a lot to the person in pain because it's empathy. So surround yourself with empathetic people. If you're alone in this world, which some people are, there's all of us online. We all get it. I had one friend, Miriam, I had texted her, I said, the pain is so bad, I don't know what to do. And she said, Monica, just breathe. And it was funny, I was holding my breath. You know how and I just took a deep breath in, and I was like, oh my God, I wasn't even aware that I wasn't breathing properly,
Yeah.
So surround yourself with a community, reach out, and don't be a martyr. I don't want people to think I'm complaining all the time. You have every right to complain all the time. I remember saying to my doctor, I feel so bad because sometimes I'm so bitchy to my husband, and he goes, but it's not up to you to try to resolve or be happy or whatever. It's up to everybody else around you to try to make you feel better. And unfortunately, it sounds so selfish, but as being a past doula, I guess I'll always be a doula. I find that trigeminal flares are like labor pains. If anybody's had a baby, they come and then they pass, and then they come again, and then they pass. Like, they're intermittent, like contractions. So I always say to people, would you do that if someone was in labor? Would you scrape that plate like that? If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know if other people find that sounds bother them during their flares, but for me, oh my God. Anyway, I'm getting way off track. So I use heat, and I have several heat devices, as you saw. I have a treasure trove of different heat appliances. Um, one I didn't mention was the heat thing I got in Australia. I got
Yes.
that is fantastic because it has no cord and it stays hot for about 3 to 4 hours. Um, so any heat appliance, your idea about wearing that hooded furry hat thing, and then using the hot pocket heat, not hot pockets, those are pizzas, but those hand
The
warmers.
hand warmers.
Yeah. You don't want to be putting pizza on your face, but the hand warmer things, because where I live, it is so cold. Well, not right now. I'm in Vancouver, but in Edmonton, even now it's minus 21. And when you go outside and it hits you in the face, that's so comforting. It's like you always have a heat pack with you. If that doesn't work, then I go to more drugs. I kick it up a notch. I'll go to whatever painkiller I've been prescribed. I do CBD, and I find a lot of people take CBD oil or gummies or whatever. But for me, when the pain is so bad and it is just, if I use a vape pen and just only 2 puffs and the pain stops. I think it's because it goes directly to the brain. And as we know, CBD works mostly on brain things. It stops the message. It doesn't last long, but it will stop that where you're so panicked, I don't know what to do anymore. It just stops that, and then you can kind of regroup. And by that point, I've taken so much medication, I'm just like blotto. But but the pain is still there. It was so weird.
Yeah.
But you need to know this is not the time. If you have plans, cancel them. If you're out and it's starting, go home. People need to understand that it's a rare illness, but you have to educate people on what it is. It's not going away. I hate to say that, but it doesn't go away. It's just always there. And your only hope is that some of these surgical procedures can shorten the duration of your pain and the time between. That's your hope, is that that happens. But what was some of the other things I did? I
And I'll make sure to share Monica's video in my stories after so that all of you can watch it and see exactly what she's talking about, the products.
Yeah, because they are really, really helpful. And then I just ordered the thing that you had, the cranial, the thing that traction for the.
Oh, that neck stretcher.
Yes. So it's at home, so I haven't seen it yet, but I ordered that. So I'm anxious to use that. You know, I was watching another one of your lives, and one of the ladies had said she had facial bones all broken. Um, and
Yes.
yes, I forget her name now.
Ash.
Nash, that's right. And I was thinking, here's yet another person who's had injuries of the spine prior to trigeminal neuralgia. I had my C5, C6 fused. There was a small little crack in C5. I fell down the stair, long story, but I slipped on a CD and landed on my upper back. You know, I'm one of those people cleaning the house, put stuff on the steps, and then take it up and you get go upstairs. And there's like a clear CD case sitting there.
Oh no.
And I sort of bobsledded down the steps and I landed on my back.
Oh my gosh.
And I put a little crack in the disc. So, yeah, anyway. But since that time, and then you heal from that, and then about a few years later, all of a sudden you have this facial pain. So there has to be some connecting factor with that. Absolutely, for sure. So
I definitely know of a few warriors that have had some spinal injuries, so I'm sure that they'll be reaching out to you after they see your live here.
yes, because I've just been noticing, and I'm like, that's very interesting. That I even mentioned it to my neurosurgeon last time I saw him, and they're doing a study at the University of Alberta on in trigeminal neuralgia. This big research, yeah. So he's on the team, which I thought was kind of cool. But yeah, and so I said, you know, like I'm in the community, and it seems like 1 out of 3 has had some kind of thing go on with their spine. And the other people may have had whiplash and not remembered it or known that they had that, because something has caused this. Unless you have MS where the myelin sheath has deteriorated. Oh, one thing I wanted to say for people that are new, getting newly diagnosed, please get the book Striking Back. It is the TN Bible. It is so easily describes all the possible procedures, all the types of trigeminal neuralgia you could have. When I first got it, I think I wore the pages out. It is so good. And because I've had all these different procedures, I've gone to that book to see what exactly are they doing, how, and it's so well explained, and it gives you a sense of comfort in knowing, okay, I understand this. It's easily understandable. So one of my surgeries, the last one I had during COVID, and my husband had to drop me off at the corner of the street corner of the hospital, and it was so bizarre. I'm going in for brain surgery. Okay, see you, bye, bye. You know.
Oh my gosh.
So weird. But then I got a little nervous and anxious, and then as I was walking into the hospital, I thought, okay, this is your 4th kick at the can. Somebody else is doing the same thing, and they have never had, like they're having an MVD done with no one. I can't even imagine. I can't. So then you just put on your big girl panties and keep on trucking, you know? And one thing too, I'm just talking so much, but one thing too that I've noticed is a lot of us warriors suffer from either depression or anxiety or both.
Yes.
And it was explained to me that the serotonin in your brain gets worn down through pain. And so that, it doesn't fire like it's supposed to because you're so busy dealing with all this other stuff. And so it's not surprising that you're not getting enough serotonin. So you might find yourself feeling really depressed or really anxious. I got anxiety. It was horrible, 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 horrible. And I told my doctor, and people are scared to say that I'm so depressed that I don't know if I can do this anymore, or I'm so anxious, I'm so afraid of everything. And the doctors are so good. You need to tell them. And so I was put on anti anxiety meds, and I'm a new person. It's like that was years ago. But I mean, I don't care what meds they take for me, they're not taking those because it changed me so much. And they were really safe. Pregnant women take them just before for postpartum. So it's easy, it's not dangerous drugs, but
I feel like this is a good time for my usual disclaimer that these are just Monica's experiences.
that's right.
And if anything she's saying interests you, please consult with your medical team to make sure the best treatment for you. Take her
Exactly.
advice, but also consult with your medical team, please.
Exactly. And if you're feeling like you have mental issues as a result of your pain or anything else, talk to your doctor too. Always, always.
Always.
Yes. Well, I don't know how you could get medication without talking to them, but you need to talk to your doctors. And
Yes.
I made that clear in my video too about the different kinds of medications and everything. Talk to your doctor. And you've said it so many times, everyone's experience is different.
Absolutely.
Every single person is completely different. So I think that's all. I'd like to have more questions for me.
You have been so informational, Monica. I'm so grateful to be able to share your energy with you and share your knowledge with you.
Oh, thank you.
Monica shared with me an amazing pillow for your back too.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So we'll have to get a few of those links together and I'll post them in stories for everybody to see.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yes. Because you
Yes.
told me the neck thing and then I told you the pill. Did you order it yet?
I haven't. I need to find one I'm going to see if I can find one in the store actually, so I can try it out.
You know those healthcare stores? We have one here called Aspen Healthcare.
Oh, yeah.
And they sell crutches and things like that. I think that's where I got mine.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah,
Thank you.
check there for sure.
I just wanted to ask you about one more thing that's so fun that you do for Awareness Day. Why don't you share with us your project that you do for Awareness Day?
Well, let's see. Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about your teal lanterns.
That's what I was just going to say. Well, this year I created some teal lanterns out of mason jars. And I made them like a lantern because during COVID, obviously, we couldn't go on some kind of lantern parade. But my hope is that one day we all can walk through the streets with these teal lanterns. So for now, I just either place them in my window or place them on my steps. And they're so pretty. And when people look, and if they ask you why you got teal lanterns, then it's just another way of making awareness. And I have a video on how I did mine. Super easy. Just with tissue paper, glue, and some wire and mason jars. They're super cute.
I'll make sure to.
It may feel good to do them too,
Totally. Getting those serotonin levels up.
Exactly. So important.
And I'll make sure to share that video. Monica has a whole YouTube channel with tons of information on it. So I'll post the link to that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with us today, Monica. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we end it?
I just want to say again to anybody suffering from this, but especially the new new people and they're so scared. I am so sorry that you have to have this handle, but you can do it. You've got this. You're strong. We're behind you. And I'm finally getting my very first tattoo.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I've been wanting to do this, wanting to do this, and I keep saying I'll do it on my 60th, on my 65th, but I'm doing it. Doing it on Saturday. And it's the words Dum Spiro Spero. And it means, it's Latin for while I breathe, I hope. And that quote has gotten me through as long as you're still breathing, as long as there's still hope, and as long as there's people like you, Jessica, that are out there fighting the fight for us, we'll get through this. So while I breathe, I
Oh, that just gave me chills. You almost made me cry, Monica.
hope.
That
That's,
is so beautiful. You'll have to post a pic of the tattoo if
I
you feel
will, I will.
comfortable. But oh, that's so exciting. I'm so glad to meet you and
Well, I'm so glad to meet you too. I
join
really am so nice.
forces.
Nice to talk to you.
You too, Monica. Thank you so much for being so vulnerable and sharing your story and your tips.
Oh,
I hope you enjoy the rest of your vacation with your beautiful family.
I will. Thank you very much for having me.
Of course.
Okay, well, we'll talk soon.
Yes, stay strong, everybody.
Okay, bye.